Right now, while you're reading this, your body might already be running a repair process that quietly burns away stubborn belly fat, and it happens every single night while you sleep. Every hour you spend fasting triggers a cellular cleanup system that specifically targets visceral fat, the dangerous kind stored deep around your organs. But here's the problem. The moment you wake up and eat the wrong food, that entire process shuts down instantly, not because you overate, but because of what you chose to eat first. Most people have no idea that 10 specific foods can keep this fat-burning switch turned on, even after your fast technically ends. Fasting doesn't destroy visceral fat simply because you're eating fewer calories. It works because of specific cellular switches it flips on inside your body, and these 10 foods activate those exact same switches. My name is Dr. Michael Diamonds. I'm a medical doctor, a scientist, a natural bodybuilder, and the founder of Sculpt by Science. Stick around, because food number 2 on this list showed a 12% increase in muscle strength in an actual clinical trial. And yes, I see you eyeing that wine bottle, so I'll tell you honestly whether wine actually helps with visceral fat or not. Let's get into it. You've probably heard that a glass of red wine is great for your health, and the reason people say that comes down to one compound called resveratrol. It's a powerful antioxidant. It protects your cells from damage, supports energy production and repair inside those cells, and may even contribute to better heart health and healthier aging. I know my wine-loving viewers just perked up hearing that, but once I explain what I'm about to share, you might realize this is more marketing than medicine. A single glass of red wine contains roughly 1 milligram of resveratrol, while the studies showing real benefits use anywhere from 100 to 500 milligrams. That means you'd need hundreds of glasses of wine just to reach the amount used in research. And on top of that, alcohol actually damages the very cellular machinery resveratrol is supposed to protect. So wine isn't the answer here. What actually works is food number 1 on this list: dark berries, blueberries, and red grapes. And I'm about to explain exactly why these work at a cellular level that wine simply can't match. Here's what happens inside your body when you fast. It switches on something called SIRT1. Picture SIRT1 as a factory supervisor who only shows up to work once the factory goes completely quiet. The moment you eat and your insulin rises, that supervisor clocks out and leaves. Resveratrol, when it comes from real food sources like berries and grapes rather than wine, helps keep that supervisor working an extra shift. It sends a signal telling your body to build brand new mitochondria. And mitochondria are the tiny power plants living inside every cell in your body, converting the food you eat into usable energy, the same energy that lets you move, think, and simply function. Almost nobody in the health space talks about mitochondria, yet scientists, myself included, have spent decades searching for ways to help your body produce more of them. Why does this matter so much? Because the more healthy mitochondria you have, the more energy your body generates, the more efficiently it burns fat, and the stronger and more capable you feel day to day. Here's something that connects directly to this. Remember creatine? It's the most researched supplement on the planet, and there's a good reason for that reputation. Creatine doesn't just help build muscle, it also helps trigger the creation of brand new, more efficient mitochondria. Resveratrol works alongside this by replacing your old, worn-out mitochondria with newer, more efficient versions. So instead of reaching for a bowl of cereal or a muffin from a coffee shop in the morning, add a handful of berries to your very first meal. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, any combination works. Toss them into your oatmeal or eat them completely on their own. It takes 10 seconds and costs you almost nothing. Before we move forward, I want to be honest with you. As I'm filming this, it's April. We're 4 months into this year, and I've never worked harder or uploaded more consistently in my entire career. So let me know, is this information actually helping you? I'd genuinely love to hear in the comments how much progress you've made using this advice, and whether you've started adding these berries to your mornings the way I've been recommending. Tell me how this channel has helped you in any way at all. Now let's move on to food number 2, and this one produced results in a clinical trial that genuinely surprised even me. Pomegranate contains a powerful compound called elagitannins. When these reach your gut, certain bacteria living there convert them into something called urolithin A. Think of urolithin A as a quality control inspector that your gut essentially manufactures from pomegranate. Its entire job is to hunt down damaged mitochondria, flag them for removal, and clear space so healthier ones can take their place. There's an actual randomized controlled trial published in Cell Reports Medicine that tested this directly. After 4 months of urolithin A supplementation, muscle strength increased by up to 12%, aerobic fitness improved, and markers of mitochondrial health improved across the board. So try having half a pomegranate with your first meal, after breakfast, or really at any point during your eating window, and consider pairing it with walnuts as a snack, which we'll cover shortly. Now let's move to food number 3, built around an active compound called EGCG. When you fast, your body activates something called AMPK, and you can think of AMPK like a low fuel warning light on your car's dashboard. That warning light automatically triggers your body into repair mode. EGCG activates that exact same warning light without requiring you to fast and without adding any meaningful calories. So drinking 1 cup of plain green tea during your fasting window can actually extend the benefits of your overnight fast at a cellular level. Just make sure there's no milk and no sugar added. And if you want the best results, go for Japanese matcha or a high quality loose leaf tea. Now on to food number 4. And this one genuinely surprises a lot of people. Extra virgin olive oil. Yes, it contains calories, but the main compounds inside it, oleocanthal and hydroxytyrosol, activate both AMPK and SIRT1 that we just discussed, all without meaningfully spiking your insulin. Hydroxytyrosol specifically protects the outer membrane of your mitochondria. Think of it like the casing around a battery. If that casing cracks, the battery leaks energy and loses power over time. Hydroxytyrosol keeps that casing fully intact. So aim for 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil and look for a bottle with a harvest date printed on it, since that's a genuine sign of quality. You'll also want a dark-colored bottle rather than a clear one, because light exposure breaks down these beneficial compounds over time. Now let's move into food number 5, and honestly, this is the most unfamiliar food on this entire list. I had to dig deep into the research to make sure this list could genuinely be 10 foods instead of 9. So stay with me, because this next one is truly fascinating. Natto is a Japanese fermented soybean dish, and it happens to be the richest dietary source of a compound called spermidine. Spermidine activates your body's cellular cleaning system through a completely separate pathway that has nothing to do with fasting. Think of natto as a second cleaning crew that arrives through an entirely different entrance, even after the main doors have already closed for the day. A paper published in Nature Aging confirmed that in human populations, higher spermidine levels are directly linked to a longer lifespan. So try adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of natto to your first meal of the day. If it's not easy to find where you live, tempeh works as a solid substitute, and even certain cheeses like Parmesan can offer some benefit too. Before I keep going, I have to be honest with you, and it genuinely stings a little. Right before hitting record, I was looking through my channel analytics, and I couldn't believe what I saw. 73% of you watching this aren't subscribed yet. I've been making videos for 11 years, so let's at least get that number closer to 50-50. Hit subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you cutting-edge, science-backed information delivered in a natural, safe way. Now let's move on to food number 6. And whenever the Japanese are onto something health-related, it's usually worth paying close attention to, which is exactly why matcha deserves its elite reputation. Standard green tea comes from a bag steeped briefly in hot water, but matcha is the entire tea leaf ground into a fine powder and whisked directly into water, meaning you're consuming the whole leaf itself. This gives matcha a significantly higher concentration of EGCG. It also contains a compound called L-theanine, which produces calm, focused energy rather than the sudden spike and crash you typically get from regular coffee. This is actually what we recommend to our own clients at Sculpt by Science. Try half a teaspoon of ceremonial grade matcha whisked into hot water with no milk and no sweetener added. This gives you clean, sustained energy while keeping your repair processes fully intact, and you can find ceremonial grade matcha easily by searching for it online. Now let's talk about food number 7, and this one requires a bit of caution, so let me show you exactly how to use it the right way. Walnuts do two powerful things for your mitochondria at the exact same time. First, they contain elagitannins, the same compound from pomegranate, which your gut bacteria convert into urolithin A, that same quality control inspector we discussed earlier. And stacking these two foods together amplifies the effect significantly. Second, walnuts provide plant-based omega-3 fatty acids that physically become part of your mitochondrial membrane, making it more flexible and more responsive. Think of walnuts as upgrading the actual walls of your power plants from the inside out. A small handful with your first meal works well, and you can pair it with pomegranate or dark berries to stack these benefits even further. Now, let's move to food number 8, turmeric combined with black pepper. Curcumin is the active compound found in turmeric, and it activates AMPK through a completely different mechanism than fasting does, sending a signal to your muscles to build newer mitochondria without needing a calorie deficit or any fasting at all. But here's what most people completely miss. Curcumin on its own is almost useless because your body barely absorbs any of it. Add black pepper, though, and everything changes. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, and piperine increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, which is genuinely remarkable. So these two ingredients should always be used together, never separately, because turmeric without black pepper simply isn't the same. Sprinkle both into your meals as a spice combination whenever you can. Now let's move to food number 9, and this might be the most underrated food on the entire list, sardines. They're packed with DHA and EPA, the most bioavailable form of omega-3 fatty acids available, meaning your mitochondria can use them directly. Plant-based omega-3s have to be converted first, and that conversion process is inefficient in most people's bodies, but sardines skip that step entirely. The DHA goes straight into your mitochondrial membranes, and if you imagine oxidative damage as rust slowly building up inside a power plant, DHA actively slows that rusting process down. Sardines are also high in protein, packed with vitamin D and B12, remarkably mitochondrially dense and incredibly cheap compared to most other superfoods. Aim for 2 to 3 tins per week, ideally paired with a little olive oil where possible. And now, the final food on this entire list, one that most people already drink every single morning without realizing its true power. Most people think of coffee purely as their morning caffeine delivery system, but it's actually one of the most powerful autophagy activating substances you can consume. And I'm not even talking about fat loss benefits here. This genuinely surprised me while researching further into coffee's effects. Interestingly, decaffeinated coffee works almost as well as regular coffee, which tells you the caffeine itself isn't doing the heavy lifting. The real work comes from polyphenols, specifically chlorogenic acid, which activates AMPK directly while also suppressing mTOR, the signal responsible for shutting down autophagy when it's active. Think of mTOR as a growth signal that essentially says stop cleaning and start building instead. Chlorogenic acid keeps that signal quiet, allowing your body's internal cleanup crew to keep working uninterrupted. So your morning coffee isn't just waking you up, it's actually extending the repair work your body already started overnight through fasting. Stick to 1 or 2 cups, always black, with no milk, no sugar, and no sweetener added. Now here's how all 10 of these foods come together in a single day. During your fasting window in the morning, have your matcha or black coffee, keeping AMPK active and autophagy running while your repair processes stay fully intact, all without meaningful calories or an insulin spike. Once your eating window opens for breakfast, add berries, perhaps mixed into oats, or swap them for pomegranate, or even combine both together. If you're having eggs, drizzle some olive oil on top for that added polyphenol support, add natto for its spermidine benefits, and sardines for direct mitochondrial membrane repair, either eaten alone or spread on a slice of toast. Walnuts work well as another snack option, giving you that urolithin A effect, and you can enjoy them alongside breakfast or completely on their own. Just remember, a small handful is enough. Turmeric and black pepper can be added directly into that same egg meal alongside your olive oil. The key is making sure you're combining these foods consistently, because every single one on this list speaks the same biological language as fasting. Clean up, repair, rebuild stronger, and your mitochondria will respond. If you'd like me to show you exactly how to turn all of these foods into complete, ready-to-eat meals, let me know in the comments by saying, combine these foods into meals, and I'll create that for you. And if you want the complete fasting, nutrition, and training system to reach the leanest version of yourself, I've got a video ready for you right here. The simple way to go from 30% to 10% body fat. Watch it next. Keep moving forward one step at a time, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.